On this installment is going to be the beginning of a series installments when I paint this 5 foot tall by 3 feet wide canvas. I'm going with a very abstract style with it. This is going to be the 10th painting I've done with oils. So I decided I'm going to break up this into a series. I'm just going to focus on right about here for today. I don't really have a vision for much of this. There's one camera missing from this show that I really want to do. So there's two cameras. This camera's for me. This camera's just for this. But I need a third camera to focus on my palette. I'm going for this really kind of dark purple right here. More blue in it. And for another one of these stripes, I want to add a lot of white to it, make it a very pale. And then for the third one, I think I want it to be a very red orientated purple. I intended to paint this yesterday. I even prepped up my oils. I put them out yesterday, and then I just didn't get around to painting it, but I had the oils out for about 24 hours, which is a testament to the oils, I think, because they're known for not drying. And people always say the acrylics are the easiest way to go, which is true, but they dry so fast. That's one of the major pluses for the oils. They don't dry so fast. One thing I'm taking out of this show is the real time. If you look at all the previous episodes of the Psychiatric Painting with Perry, they are all in real time. I thought painting with oils was going to be more difficult, and it turns out it is and it isn't. In fact, I find it easier in some aspects. I'm going to make a really heavily red tinted orange, purple. I got very distracted. I wanted to paint this eye first, but I wanted to paint all these stripes around it, and I decided to go with a very purple experiment. This eye contains another cat. This is a very abstract painting, by the way, if you haven't noticed already. So I don't know if I should make the eye cats, the eye within an eye green. I think I'm going to do that. So this is like the whites of an eye, but I noticed they're yellow in cats. So I've tried to make my cats a little bit more realisticer, I suppose. I picked a bad brush, I think. I think it's a good brush, but I think I've gotten neglected a few times with the acrylics. Now it's all dried up. But as for my purposes here, it is putting oil on the canvas, so I don't have any pre-made greens out on my palette. I only have primary colors and black. I guess you don't really need to buy black because you could just mix your own, but it's hard. And I like to use a fine black line to outline all my stuff. It just doesn't work too well for me. I'm going with a darker green for the major eye, and then the eyes within the eye, I made it a lighter green, so more yellow. And this definitely has way more blue now. It's practically all blue, very little yellow. I can't talk too knowledgeably about mixing oils, as it's a new process for me. I'm just learning too. Not very often that eyes also have ears, but my paintings do occasionally. Sometimes eyes have ears. That's one thing I was always very adamant with. There is no rules to painting. There's no rules to art. The only practical use of learning the rules of art is learning just specifically how you could break it. But even that, I don't find that much required. I have no formal training in art, which is a statement I know I can get laughed at because, oh, it's obvious. But do you need training to become an artist? You just gotta have that will, that freedom to express yourself, and to not be afraid about being teased or laughed at. Staying true to your own convictions. I'm going over the lines a little too much, too willy-nilly here. It's going to be a pain painting the orange, as I'll use orange a lot when painting the backgrounds of the cats. Or the backgrounds of the cats. The cat hair, cat fur. I like to paint orange cats is what I'm trying to say. Just get a lot of oils on the brush. This is a really shitty brush. I think I'm just going to throw this brush out when I'm done. I'm not even going to bother cleaning it. It's another thing I've learned about with my oils. No, my brushes aren't that good. They're all... well, they're from a few different places. I don't think I have very many dollar store brushes left. I went through a phase of buying dollar store brushes, but then I also had to go through a phase of throwing out dollar store brushes. Might be worthwhile to buy some expensive brushes. I also realized which ones are more for watercolors and which ones are more for oils. The watercolors are really soft and more malleable, and the oil ones I like to paint with are thicker. Or more stronger, I should say. Have a thicker bristle. I also find it easier to mix oils as opposed to acrylics. I don't know. But I also found it was also easier to mix watercolors in my brief foray into painting with watercolors. I've painted like... I was really proud of the watercolors that I did produce. You can't mix water with oil. Science 101. You gotta use a paint thinner, like a turpentine. I use mineral spirits, because, I don't know. I was told to, I guess. I hear turpentine stinks. Well, there is a strong smell associated with the mineral spirits, too. Oops. Got some purple mixed in with the green there, which is no good. That addition of the red to the green. It's not like I could really mix it out. I'm just going to have to work with it. That's another thing. The oils don't dry very fast. They take weeks to dry. So I guess I could always come back and touch anything up I want to. Painting this red spot in the eye, over the eye, is kind of influenced by the First Nations art. My great aunt is a famous West Coast native artist, Frida Deasing. Well, I have the red on. Scoop some white. Making a really pale pink nose. I used to struggle making orange and pink. The trick is going light with the red with both of those. Making the orange. You don't want too much. Not for these triangles. I think I'm just going to go with the blue. I only want to make it a light blue, but there's a little bit of marker there. Kind of digging this brush. I use it for the pink and for the blue there. Now I think I'll use it for some black. I'm not sure how much I want to outline, because the outline is pretty hard at this moment. When I do that with acrylics, it's fine, because the acrylics are usually dry by now. But with the oils, they don't dry. Oh, how am I going to do this mouth? I'm going to have to outline it with white. If I just grab white on the brush and make it outline, it'll kind of look gray. So I'm just going to go with that. Add a bit more white. Looks like I should outline the nose too. I don't know what I'm doing right now. I guess I'm outlining the eyes with gray. I actually kind of like what it's doing. It almost looks too phony. Hope I didn't wreck those eyes too much. They were looking nicer before, weren't they? Kind of like this brush. This is a good one I never really liked before. I gotta do something about those eyes. Well, that's definitely a cat's eye cat. The last time I did a painting this size, it took me 3.5 hours. I only know that because I filmed it. It is actually a previous episode of Psychiatric Painting with Harry. I am continuing on this series. This is just a part 1. I plan to paint the majority of this on film and then edit it down. So it's not in real time anymore. You're welcome. Remember to like and subscribe. Just like this video. That would be awesome.